7:07 PM. We've got running a
Yeah.
consistent record
Yep.
on this time, and this meeting is being recorded live. It's being broadcast live and is being recorded. Let me try and correct that. So we have 3 members present, so we have a quorum.
Do we have a potential other member?
Yes, she was going to come tonight, as of an email from a few days ago. Yes, so I'm not sure. Sometimes she has last minute grandma duties,
I can relate.
so maybe that is an issue. Next, we have the minutes from the July 11th meeting that was held. I don't see any corrections or errors in them at all.
Yeah, me either.
Okay, motion to approve as written. Laurie makes that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved as written.
I actually have a Maven update.
Okay.
Ah.
Next, we have COVID Maven. Right there, that's done. Thank you.
Is anybody able to sit in on the Board of Health meeting at 3:00 this afternoon?
No, I didn't get the email till 3:20, and I went, oh, okay, nope.
All right, I didn't get any emails. Last
There
couple
is a-
days, didn't see anything, sorry.
Okay, there, it looked like it started today. From now on, it's gonna be like, every couple of weeks, although they're skipping the 8th. But anyway, so the next one is August 22nd.
Okay, so it's gonna be like a bi-weekly,
Yeah,
bi-monthly.
and after that,
And
it'll
this-
probably be bi-weekly.
And who
And
is,
these are, Department of Public Health, puts this out, and the Department of Epidemiology is part of it, Maven is part of it. And so they give you updates on all kinds of different things going on. And, so today, they started off talking about, the migrant issue here in Massachusetts. And they said they have several family welcome centers open up and running, and they also have several emergency centers for those families that need some sort of rapid assistance. They said they expect the average stay of a family, like such as in Concord, I visited that one the other day, would be about 15 months to get them resettled in their own apartment and things like that, to have all their paperwork and everything all completed. And they are going to be opening up a new one, but they weren't willing to say where yet. But they're planning on spreading them across the state. So what they offered these programs is like school enrollment, vaccinations, medical appointments, getting the kids into pediatric, into a pediatrician, things like that. What can the Board of Health do? They said, well, if you have a center near you, or in your community, then you can help with some of the community services. And I'm thinking, gee, our MRC assessment was right on good timing. So offer community services, to be really aware of what the services are around in your area, so that you can say, well, why don't you contact so-and-so. Also to support any kind of vaccination efforts, volunteers or community folks, and also also to be able to work, if there's any regional supports, then, to be aware of them so that your center or your community, whatever you want, can access some of those regional supports. Okay, so that was that on that. Then they moved on to COVID-19, and they said Massachusetts, they will have COVID-19 vaccinations available. They've been working, the companies, the manufacturers like Pfizer and all, have been working to develop and change the formula to be current with what's out there, and in the process of manufacturing, and they expect that some of the first shipments will be mid to late September. In Massachusetts, PD, they do not offer adult flu, and they do not offer adult COVID. They will offer free children's COVID under 18 and free flu. So if we wanted to offer, we'd probably have to figure out how to pay for it, or work with a community health link or something like that.
Just
Or
a
access.
small aside, last meeting you had said you were gonna get me the contact information for the one to set up
Oh.
for things, and I never got an email. So if you could
Oh
write
my
yourself,
gosh.
write yourself a message.
Sorry, Lauren.
No, that's okay.
So if you're 19 plus with insurance, they're trying to encourage everybody to find a clinic like Community Health Link or pharmacy. If you are 19 plus without insurance, then there will be available free COVID-19. So if you have an insurance card, either from the state program or from private, then they want you to go to the pharmacies.
So either way, that you're gonna get your shot, if you have
Well,
insurance or not.
that's what, right. It'll be available somewhere. RSV, there's an article in MMWR, July 21st, and they recommended, look it up. So I'll see if I can track it down. They are recommending 60 plus get the RSV vaccination. But there's going to also be a restriction on that as well. Because the data is still relatively new, they are recommending that it be reserved for those at most risk for pneumonia or other complications. So they're recommending that those who are good and healthy, that put a hold until there's more data, or go back and check with your own physician about their recommendations. So again, too, if they do have RSV vaccination available, again, it will be only the uninsured and those at increased risk. So they don't know what the costs for COVID or RSV are. That's not available either, so they weren't able to give any data on that side of the coin. All right. There's a table on vaccination page for mass.gov, and I have a note from you, Lori, just to let you know, FYI.
So it's the
It's
mass.
an adult availability table on mass.gov. Okay, the next Board of Health, and then Mass Board of Health Association said that their next webinar will be on conflict of interest law. They're gonna go over some of the general conflict, things that we need to know about. but they were gonna specifically focus in on septic regulations with all the new regulations that have been coming in. So they were going to focus in on that. August 22nd, 3 p.m. And I did look at the mass.gov, and the last training and last CD and the last mass.gov updates on COVID and all that was December 2022, so they're about 6 months out of date. So as for,
Well, they'll probably update it before the flu season hits.
they'll have to,
Yeah.
yeah. That's it. Oh, and arborvirus. There were almost 3,300 samples when I last looked at the data. There were 3,300 samples. Mosquitoes, poor things, got squished. That's what they do. They take samples and they squish them all.
What was that for?
To test them for WNV, West Nile virus, and Tripoli. So anyway, out of the 33 samples that they went around the state and collected, only 5 tested positive for West Nile. 0 tested positive for Tripoli. So I double checked to see where it was, because they said one was in Worcester County. And the best I could tell from their maps is that it's somewhere in the north, right on the border of New Hampshire. So Winchendon, Boylston, somewhere in that area is where it tested positive. So we've got quite a wide circle of
Nothing to
Yeah.
worry about.
So we've got a little barrier.
Nice.
So that's it.
Well, thank you.
When you were talking about the migrant, like, emergency centers and them being there for 15 months and whatever, did they say that the community was gonna get any state funding to support
No.
all the new needs?
Nope.
That's not okay.
The centers
How
are
is,
getting.
how are these?
Centers are being run by Mock. I
Yeah, but what
can
about,
tell
like,
you.
if they if they get all these children into the school,
Right.
who's gonna pay for more teachers and more, where's that money coming from? Because we know Quabbin's already strapped, we're already strapped with Quabbin, right? So if they introduced more children in, shouldn't the state then say,
Yeah.
here, hire a new teacher for these new students we're entering in?
Yeah, a lot of them are gonna be ESL.
Yeah.
So, that I don't have the answer for. I do know that it's the Montechusett Opportunity Council that is running the center in Devens and running the center in Concord. And they're running it, I used to be, it was Howard Johnson's, and then it was at Best Western. So it's right there at the Rotary, short distance down from the Rotary. So they're housing families. At Devens, it's more run as an emergency center, and they're housing more singles coming through, or those without children coming through.
Okay. You'd think though that they would do something to support the
Yeah.
local school system.
I don't know, I'll talk, the gal that's at Concord, her name is Rita Jean St. Pierre, I forgot the last name, St. Pierre, I believe. And the gentleman that's running Kobe is the name. I don't know his last name. But he's the director at Devens. So,
Maybe they're schooling them there, doing some type of
right now, I think they're just
homeschooling.
Rita Jean was trying to just get. She was telling me that they were just trying to get their services, so they're the children into doctor's appointments so that they could be, I know that when I was there was a mother and she had two little ones, two little girls, and they were waiting for a ride. It was very obvious that one of the children was very sick. And so, and the other child, I don't think was doing much better. She seemed more alert, more active, but the first child she just didn't have any interest in life all around her. So I suspect they would probably had some sort of respiratory illness. They both were coughing. So anyway, so I think they were just dealing mostly with just trying to meet their immediate needs and get them into medical care
Yeah.
if needed,
Yeah, no.
et cetera.
I know that's them, I'm talking like the state,
Yeah.
right? The state knows where the
Yeah.
kids are, they know where they're gonna be going to school in September or August, in a month, just saying. Hopefully they're gonna help those school systems
Yeah,
to prepare for that.
I would hope
Especially
so,
if the
too.
English language learners, that's gonna be a whole nother classroom.
and I really can't see those children all going to Concord.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, so what are they gonna do?
I don't know,
Maybe they'll have a classroom there for them.
just for them, yeah. That would
Maybe they'll
probably
just
be
keep
good.
them there and bring teachers in.
If it's
Who
a
knows?
if it's a hotel, former hotel setting, that's not likely.
Could be some conference rooms they could use to bring a
Yeah.
teacher in and do a multi-age classroom. I mean, it can be done, especially if they're all learning English, and that's probably the first thing they're gonna attack, I would assume. I don't know. Oh, well.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah.
So I'll keep asking Rita Jean what's happening, so maybe I can bring back some answers.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Title V reports and perk tests. So we have some 27 Natty Pond Road, and it passed.
Is that being sold? Is that why? We don't know why.
Okay. And the next one is 7 Mayo Road, which passes. This is different, this is 27 Mayo Road.
Yeah, looks like there's a 7 and a 27.
I got 2 here, now there's 1. For 27 Mayo Road, there's no Title V yet, but the property has been perked. And we have 74 Williamsville Road.
So Mr. Stevens has been busy.
So this 27 Natty Pond is not a new build, right?
No,
No.
and they, before Richard Siemens got there, they had replaced the D-box.
Needs new D-box too.
Yes, replaced.
Was replaced. Let me look to the next, yeah, the
Revised.
next one.
Yeah, it says revised,
So,
yeah.
yeah, it's all changed. And then 174 Williamsville Road. Has had a perk test done.
Yeah.
Because they know 28 Old Westminster
That
Road.
one just came in today.
It came in today, which fails. What failed on it?
Keep going.
So on 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th page, in regards to 28 Old Westminster Road, there were multiple system failure criteria that he noted, therefore the Title V failed. Laundry drains directly to the outside and stuff like that.
Really?
So it's a very older system, looks like, so we should be expecting things to come. So the two that passed were actually, 27 that passed,
And 7.
and
Rail.
7. So I will sign off on those two.
Did 27 Leo pass? The
No, they
perk?
just had a perk test
Oh, that was a
done.
perk, okay.
And 174 just had a perk test, which is fine. She's just keeping us up to date on those. These others, you can put them all in that stack. Because it was just review.
Wow. Yeah, this one's in real, this is completely done over.
Sure looks that way.
So that might be part of the septic program, maybe?
It's up to the individual to come in.
Yeah.
If they need septic loan or anything.
Yeah.
Is this
That's-
being done because
I'm
you're
not
selling?
doing
Okay,
that
all
because
right,
it's just a perk
do we-
test.
We don't know.
I'm missing 27.
She's got.
Oh, okay.
She's got.
Would you be doing Title V? Are they,
Mm.
are they,
That-
Little stuff backed
No,
up
this
into
is
the
not.
house. It almost sounds like some of it was backing up into the
Property,
property.
the building,
Into the building.
yeah. We don't have to sign anything that's not been, that doesn't pass. If anybody wants to know, it was brought to the meeting and looked at,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not signing off on anything that did not pass.
So which one do you have, Lori?
I have the one that failed.
The 28.
Okay, so
You got them all there?
no.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I've
You
got
have 4.
27. I'm missing 7
Just
mail.
handed.
7 mail.
I handed everything that way.
Yeah, everything went that
Did
way.
it go in a folder accidentally?
Oh, maybe.
That's what it did. Yes,
Okay.
it went in a folder accidentally. It just should not have. It should have stayed outside.
That's right. Okay.
There we go.
Messing up.
All right.
Fancy system.
While she's continuing to look that over a bit more on the failure of the whole system, we had water tests from PCR.
These are all this pile.
Water tests from 2 water tests, water completion sanitation tech report from 46 Haleville, 7 New Templeton Road, and 94 Ragged Hill Road. And then we also have the Cushman Pond test results from 7/19.
So those are all the,
Yeah,
those are all the, comment.
right, this comment on here.
No bad water tests.
I don't think so. They were just more postings of ones that were bad.
They said with all this rain on the runoff, it's
Um,
been dumping into all these ponds and lakes and making
Okay.
it really icky.
Backing up into people's basements.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Type
on
it in
7/11, Comet Pond had 2 in the E. coli category. And the other ones that were any issue.
Yeah, they don't always send that list that shows them.
On, at Comet Pond on 7/18, it was 12. A little bit higher, but still not bad compared to a lot of the others. And that's it. So I'm just telling you what they are. I'm gonna give that back to you.
Yep.
Okay, 46 Healdville. Everything,
It should be a water test there
Yep.
and, a well completion report. Which is, yeah.
drilling. Oh,
That's it.
net. Ah, another one that goes back to being signed by Tim. Okay. The water is currently fine.
Mm-hmm. And that was taken from the bathroom because they were almost ready to close.
Right. So, on 46 Healdville, a well commit and stuff was all signed off by our previous agent. And the plans were never brought to the meeting to be approved. Or did I? Did we? Hold on.
And I didn't get a chance to do this one yet.
All the maps. Oh my gosh, lots of copies. Take a look at them real quick. They were never brought to our meeting. Approval.
I don't know if they're all stapled. They probably are.
Are they all stapled?
I don't know. And do you want this, there's another one in, oh, you got it. Yeah.
this is already up and,
Yes, so
Mhm.
it was approved by our engineer, but never brought to our meeting for review by us.
We've got a lot of those.
yeah.
There was and this one should have been, there was no reason
I'm
it
driving
wasn't.
around and I see new homes, new septic systems going in, I'm like, that never came across us, that, I never saw one this addressed.
And here's another one that was approved by the septic engineer December 2021. And updated plans 5/12/22, and this is Mallory's writing, but never brought to our meeting.
They actually do additional soil testing before construction. It says required. Also says conservation approval may be required.
Yeah, I saw that.
I wonder if they got conservation approval.
This makes me angry.
Well, it looks like a good plan.
Yes, it does.
We don't know if they did. It says they were supposed to require, right?
It's one of those things we're gonna have to assume.
No perk test, do we?
There may be one
In another
in
folder.
the file.
Okay, yeah, there could be one in another file.
Well, the perk test would have probably been way back in early 22.
2021 would have been
It
done
would
in
have been, yeah.
It would have been done in 2021.
2021.
Okay. Based on the information in the engineering plan that the Tim Newton, who was our engineer at the time, approved, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the engineering plans as they have been updated. I will sign off also on the well permit, even though he signed off on it in July of 22, which he was not supposed to do. It's supposed to be signed off by the chairman. It says so right on the permit. He crossed it off and wrote in
Signed.
agent. If our town was not strapped financially, I would go after this man at this point, because this is not following the rules. The good news is the very current water test shows everything looks great. The most current one.
So we're just approving the septic plan.
Correct.
And we're not saying, yes, we,
Posthumously, if you will.
and we're not saying that by signing that we know that everything was done
Correct.
correctly.
No.
Because
By signing.
it says required more further soil testing, all this stuff. If we don't have
this plan.
more soil testing results in their folder, did it ever get done?
No.
I can look
Confirming
to see if I can find anything else on there.
that all requirements for the system were met, reviewed,
It was a second one, right? Second soil test.
7/20.
Is that what
Yeah,
it was?
it
Yes.
says
Or what was it that they were looking for?
more soil testing, right? It says further soil testing required. It used the word required.
Yeah, it's on the plan. It's on the plan.
Yeah.
So the question is,
So did they do
So
it?
what am I looking for is what I'm asking, if I go into, try to find some of the stuff.
give me 27 Mayo. I think that it has a copy of a soil evaluation form in it.
Oh, I know what one looks like.
That's
Is that what
we're
I'm looking
for.
Okay, okay.
Yes. The fact that the current water test from 7/18/2023 looks great. I'm assuming everything was installed properly. The water test is excellent. The well permit was signed by the previous health agent, Tim Newton, which was not appropriate. There was no reason in July of 2022 that he should have been signing this form. This is a form that I review to make sure that, again, a different pair of eyes is confirming that things were done. 7/25/23.
Yeah, it looked like they were covering up the septic system on Gardner Road, like across from that new build.
We have some excellent installers, so I'm sure that the
Yes,
installers are
Yes.
following everything
But
to the
we
letter.
we
From
do.
who I've met, yes. I
but there's
agree
no,
with that.
there's no
But the-
installer listed here.
The problem is we don't have the backup documentation. So,
I'm trying.
You're
Whatever I
catching,
can.
you're catching all of these and you're bringing them to the meeting, and that's exactly what we need to do.
Mhm.
So thank you. That's correct thing to do.
So you never went and looked at that system on Gardner Road? Yeah, it's all covered over now with loam and everything.
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought
Phil
you did
does.
sometimes.
Phil
Phil
does.
does that.
Okay, so you only do it if someone's not available.
Totally not available. Right.
That's funny, there used to be a separate house there. They tore the house down and then they put the new septic system
Which when does this one start?
On Gardner Road.
So on this well permit, sorry to interrupt, for 46 Healdale, I wrote that 7/25/23, C. Hansgate made aware of above error, was signed by the agent. 7/18/23 water test showed excellent water results, and then I initialed.
That will all get scanned into
This
Laserfish
is on Gardner
Right.
Road.
once this
So,
is all done.
Yeah.
And I have
Pretty close to like the Gardner
Yes.
border, you know, they put that new house in on the
Yeah.
north, the left, right across the street.
Right,
I
okay.
signed this one.
Yeah.
They used to sell
I signed this plan
eggs
where you're
there
not
or
confirming that all
something, so-
requirements of the system were met previously.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they just backfilled it all, it's all, looks like it's all done, the big equipment's going away.
Okay.
Mhm.
So then on the plans, also, said by signing this plan,
So
we're
slow
not
at building.
confirming all requirements for system were met. We reviewed it.
Well, maybe it's been so wet that they
Here
weren't
we go.
able to
Yeah.
do what they needed to do, it's been a bunch of downpour.
I know it's ridiculous.
Okay, that
46
one is now
inches.
done. The next one
Is all this stuff being scanned?
is, it will be.
Eventually.
Oh, so it's not currently being scanned, you just got a big pile that needs to be
Oh,
scanned.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to just.
She's trying to keep up on
I'm
the work.
I'm
period.
trying to keep up with the current
Yeah.
stuff that's coming in and
Yeah. Well, he said that to me when he was here.
it's a little overwhelming at times.
Yeah, I don't know how that's all gonna go down.
I told you.
Hire somebody to do it. Is,
I told him, I said,
What is this?
having to do double duty is crazy.
A well completion report that they sent afterwards.
I haven't heard any and I haven't brought it up.
They're just gonna pull the truck up, shred it all, and not say anything to us, that's what's gonna happen. I'd still like to, if they're gonna shred it, I still would like to get the paper copies from my house.
I have
Take-
mine.
How'd you get them?
I asked for them a long time ago. Never brought them back. No, I made a copy. I have a
There's
copy.
no water test here. Is this supposed to be a water test?
Yeah, grab it, make a copy.
Oh, here it is.
You're gonna shred it, I just want it.
Yeah,
mean, why
I
should
know
have
he
to make
gave a water
copy
test
so
to
that
them,
I
that's
can
right.
shred it?
last
Yeah.
minute.
Why not just take it?
Why
Yeah,
not?
this is carry out.
We should offer it to every, all the
Yes,
community.
that's what I said, they should put something out saying, all of this stuff
Okay.
is about to be shredded, if you want your stuff, come get it.
Mhm.
And you got a week to come get it.
Mm, 2 weeks.
ETR
I think that-
Layouts did a water test for 7
Oh,
Templeton
that's-
Road, taken on May 11th, and it's all fine. Just real quick, it's all fine, the house is now being occupied, but we finally got a copy of the water test result for that.
Oh, we got a copy before they occupied it.
And I looked at it before they closed, we wouldn't let them close without it. And this is the thing,
So this is just the the well completion report, it should be on the front.
Yes.
And it's a draft. I don't know why it came in, it says, when you open it up, it says draft on it. I think that's the one.
Yes, it is.
I don't know what that means.
Maybe they're waiting on the, well, when they pumped, when they
Skillings?
drilled it, they took a water sample.
No, it's a well completion report, that's all, but it says draft.
All right,
Does it say how deep it is?
you can look see real quick.
I don't know if we have too many shallow wells left in the community anymore.
I don't know.
There's a few out there.
What's considered a shallow well?
At my parents' farm, 12 feet,
12 feet?
12 feet.
That's
Isn't that
shallow.
called? Yeah, that's a different kind of well, right? What they call that? A dog well or a?
The water, the stream is
Artesian.
only 12 feet below the surface of the ground.
Wow.
Yep.
But usually
You
they're,
wouldn't want a drought, that's for sure.
No, they have another well. This one is the original.
Really?
Right behind the house, with an old-fashioned pump on it,
Yeah.
because you can reach it.
Static? Yeah.
Matt had one of those up in Charlton. She had and farm.
most of them are like 200 or more feet now.
Yeah, and then sometimes that, even going down that far, then they have to frack it. Cause they still aren't getting anything at 200.
Okay. Hate to say it, but that draft, you have to contact Skillings and ask them for the permanent copy.
Okay,
That's all we need to do on that.
okay.
All right.
That was Ragged Hill, right?
Yes. The assigned legal address is 94 Ragged Hill. Not just Lot C.
There's so many of those. So many.
And we have the water report from Cushman Pond. E. coli 13.
We're good.
That's still A-OK. They're using Neshoba Analytical, which is a good company, and everything is clear water. Okay. All right. That's looking good. And we have permits, Sugar High Baked Goods.
That's the one that you were.
We
already
approved last meeting, however, we didn't have the right paperwork for it, so now we do.
So they're completely all set now with everything they needed to submit and pay for.
Yes.
So they are cooking out of their home kitchen.
Yes.
Yes.
What was the date of our last meeting? Well,
The
we-
11th.
11. So I'm gonna put that on here because that's when we voted on it. Okay.
Just got that, so he's the one on Morgan Road that they're building the home. So he's the installer. So I haven't even done the check yet. Written the receipt.
You get your own special slot.
And that I just got in late this afternoon,
That's
so that's
okay.
why it's not even in red.
But it was signed up on.
It came like that, so whoever brought it
They-
came to brought it first.
Okay. We also have an installer permit. The name is Allen, Allain Site Work. And they're located on High Bridge Road right here in Hubbardston. They don't owe any back taxes, so therefore, and they included the correct fee, so they were gonna approve their installer's permit.
Is that Elaine?
Yes.
Elaine, Allen, there you go.
That's right for everybody. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
next thing on the, after you go through. That's number 10, because there isn't anything for
So it's
8 and 9.
installer.
Hybrids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones with the rumbling trucks. As they go down the hill. Okay, good morning.
We literally
Alright.
just did this Thursday in July.
It's okay,
We probably didn't have it already.
that's all right,
Yeah.
that's okay. So we were given, we asked for some input from Nate, in regards to hiring a public health nurse.
Ah, yes.
And
We got an email back from Nate.
yes,
Did you read that?
The thing from Nate, yeah.
He also talked to me about it because I haven't had a meeting with him on emergency management, but he
So
brought
be-
that up.
So because something was approved, say 10 years ago, does that mean it's still approved?
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know, I don't know how that works.
It was a town vote.
Like,
You
does it
better
have to
find
be?
out, because you're vice chair.
Does it, no.
well,
Does
it
have
has
to be-
not been revoked.
yeah. And it was a town vote
Okay.
to create the position. It
So
just
he
never
was
been-
just like to have more details.
He wants a formal job description presented.
I
And
did write that up, right, way back when we.
Yes, we did.
We wrote up a job description.
We did. And we made it simple and town-friendly.
Yeah.
And he wants, I mean, you know, why did he go to Stoneham, of all places? I mean, it's a big city. Hello. And we looked at several job descriptions.
Yeah.
And
from
they're
other
all
towns
over
that
the
had
place.
Public health nurses.
Right,
yeah.
and they were all over the place. Some of them were like super complex and others were very
You want
simple.
another piece of paper?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so,
So,
So before it's, he would like to, submit some information to the select board, the next select board meeting on August 7th.
he told me that this would have to be approved, this position, this hiring, although the Board of Health was responsible and would be choosing the nurse or whatever, it still has to come back to the Board of Selectmen and they have to approve it. So he wanted, that's why he was looking for
A job description.
a job description.
Okay, all right,
but we're looking for somebody that's gonna do 4 hours a week per diem. It's a per diem. You do up to 16 hours per month. And you do it as needed.
And
So-
is the pay a set amount per month regardless, or only, like,
As
she's paid
billed.
by the hour?
Paid by the hour.
Okay. So if there's nothing to do that week, then there's no pay that week.
No.
Correct.
And he
Okay.
wanted to know how we propose to pay for it.
Well, if the town approved the position, isn't it up to the town to come up with the funds to pay for the position they approved?
Well,
No.
No?
Kathy,
Sorry, I'm ignorant. I don't
No,
know.
but it was originally, when it was first discussed way back when, it was originally going to be coming out of the Holden funds. The Holden funds that Nate insists on arguing with us about. So we're going around in circles, basically.
So as far as we know, those funds are going mostly to the fire
Well,
department?
it was 80%, 20%.
80 to them and 20 to us?
For the disbursement for each year. Each year's disbursement would change over time
Oh,
because the fund eventually becomes depleted. Okay? So,
but it's
Yes.
not depleted yet?
to the best of my knowledge, the answer is no.
No,
But we don't.
it's a trust,
It's
so
a trust.
we're getting the funds off of the,
Okay.
interest income.
Oh, so only the interest is being spent.
Correct,
So it's not like it's
correct. And
depleted,
it's
it
being
can't be
divided,
depleted.
and we're not the only town receiving
Yeah.
Holden funds, so, but our dispersion, our amount that comes in every year is then divided 80%, and even after that 80% is divided again within the fire department.
Okay.
Because some of it's training, some of it's EMT support, some of it's, ambulance support. And
Nice.
20% is supposed to come back to us for public health education or what other
Needs,
way
whatever the town
right.
needs. But as far as you know, we haven't been getting that 20%.
Not the last few years because of when the funds were, when the system was changed over and line items were renumbered, then somehow our
Like by the
portion.
town accountant kind of thing?
Oh, is it when they changed accountants?
Yes.
It disappeared.
Twice.
It
They
disappeared.
changed them twice?
Yes.
Well, it didn't disappear, right, because the fire department's still getting money.
Well, we don't know how much,
But maybe they're getting all of it.
we don't know that. We haven't
Because
got
it's
it.
not been accounted for.
Right.
Hasn't been accounted for. Maybe there was no interest those years.
And nobody wants,
I don't know. The interest rates were on bank things were pretty low for a while there, right? Like 0.05%. It's up a little bit now, but.
but what was,
So who gets the report from the trust saying this is what your town got this year? Like
we
where
have
is
to go
that?
back to the court to get all that.
Oh, they don't give it to the town every year
They just-
saying,
I would-
an amount, all they do is send an amount.
oh, okay, so the town, somebody knows how much Hubbardston got from that each year. That's sent to
It's
somebody.
supposed to be in our treasury records.
Correct. In a treasury record.
And
The
then,
treasurer resigned recently.
and then somebody from there is supposed to divide it up and put it into the proper accounts, and hasn't been done.
Somewhere along the line,
And
been some sloppy.
so is Nate saying that isn't our money to use? Is that what his point is? I don't.
Yes.
Yes. Because
So he's saying it should
he's
never
looking
have
for
been
he's
allocated
looking
to
for
us.
a specific sentence that says the Board of Health receives 20% for X, Y, and Z. And we have paperwork that shows
It was
that
approved at town meetings to do that.
it was
In
approved year after year.
1994, 95, 96,
Yeah.
it's like the first years I can think of.
Right.
Did it have to be reapproved every year?
Yes, because it's part of,
Okay, so maybe if it hasn't been reapproved, then we don't get it.
it hasn't been reapproved because
It's no longer
it disappeared.
listed.
It's no longer listed.
They stopped listing it.
When they juggled, when they
In
renumbered the numbers.
2019 or something.
Yes.
2018.
Because Dennis went back to every single year and, yeah, with 2019.
I think 2019 is the year that
It's
was.
as clear as mud. So then whatever's coming in is just going to one account, probably the fire department, and that's
Correct.
it.
Correct.
Okay, so the fire department probably doesn't want us to have 20% of it,
No,
right?
no, no,
Because
no,
they're
no,
happy with what they have.
don't make such assumptions whatsoever.
Well, I'm
That's
just
not-
figuring they're using it, right? They must be making good use of it.
Well, they're just, if it's given to them as part of their account, they may not be questioning it, but
Yeah,
there's no reason.
that's what I'm saying, they're,
There's no reason for us to for them to question it. But the bottom line is, they may be not as aware of the fact that our 20% got lost when they reshuffled the numbers.
and there's no way to,
Well, you have
There's
to
no
go,
way to
you
fix
have to go
that.
back and get some sort of audit done in order to track it and figure out
And
what
that-
happened.
and a forensic accountant audit is gonna cost the town a fortune, so they
Well,
don't
it
wanna do
can
that.
probably be done if you've got, on our own, if we had, you know, what I mean, sitting down with all those that handle the finance, but one of them was living in Florida. So that made that sitting down with a little difficult.
So I feel like we may never see that
Well, that's why Kathy
And I apologize, I've been sitting on it for
money. I'm
4
just-
months now.
I'm
Sorry.
just- Well, I'm just at this point, kind
Um,
of like, we may never see that. So if we never see that, then how do we pay for this nurse?
Okay,
Well, we
Well,
have the
we
money, we
can't-
have the money from MPHN, right, that we saved?
Yes.
$1,000 or something?
yes.
And we still have holding money in our account.
Yes.
So we just haven't added to it because of the number reshuffle.
Okay.
And so that
Okay.
handicaps us
I just
for
don't know.
being able to do,
To continue to pay
Alright.
for it.
or being able to set up any sort of public health education program or whatever we wanted to do, or clinics.
Yeah.
You know, that handicaps us because we don't have funds coming in that could supplement all of public health. And no, we learned the hard way through COVID, and you go to the national or you go to the state, the Public Health Association conferences, and that's, you know, the fact that we need to get out there and revamp the public health and from local all the way up. Because we learned so many lessons because things had been let go, let slide out of the picture, and then when COVID came
I
along,
think everybody had that.
we got caught.
Yeah.
So
20% doesn't sound like,
it
an
wasn't much.
unreasonable amount. No, it sounds reasonable to me. I mean, 20%. I don't know what the
You don't know
amount
what
is.
20%
I
of
don't
what
know.
is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It wasn't much, it was like a couple thousand a year.
But still,
Yes.
that's enough to pay for a public
It
health
pays for a
nurse.
public health nurse.
Yeah, it does.
So, you know, it's like, let go of the reins. Give it back to us.
Right. So, the,
So was the candidate supposed to
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure.
After all that good discussion, here's where we stand. I suggest we stand on the nursing position. This job description that he has from another town delineates all the basic abilities the employee would need. I don't see anything wrong with it. If you, from Stono, was the town.
Was
it
that
from.
attached to the email he sent, or is this a separate?
Yeah.
It was, okay.
So, I don't see, here, you can read through it too.
If it's in the email, I'll look
Yes,
at it.
The basic things about being registered and so on and so forth, all look very appropriate, very well defined.
But is it more
But
than
is
we
it
would?
more than what we
Yeah,
really need?
that's what I'm saying,
Um,
because usually
we
a
don't
public
want a
health nurse
burden.
does a lot for,
Yeah.
in a city. We're just looking for a small amount of hours.
Right.
And if you walk a nurse in who says, just looking for a 4-hour position to help, to be more of a community person, connect with the community,
Yeah.
and you give them all of this doodad stuff that's
Well, this-
4 pages long, that's
Yeah.
just going to she's just gonna say, no, I can't do this.
Have you
This is
read
asking
any
more.
of the job descriptions for the town?
Yeah, they're very definitive. And
They're very,
this,
and it just touches on,
So-
you might have to do this, you might have to do that, you might have, you know what I mean?
Well,
But it just brings it to light.
and any other nursing duties deemed necessary
So,
for the
but
town.
that
Like,
really-
we kinda-
actually, this is very well written. The only area, that I would like to edit is the knowledge area. And edit that to be the description of the job that we want. Everything else, as far as physical and mental requirements and so on and so forth, in this day and age, there's nothing to it other than
Does
they
it
have to be
say
able
anything
to.
about Maven?
Yes, that comes under the knowledge part, and,
Okay.
but I feel that our job description describes the knowledge we want the employee to have, so that's the area that needs to be edited. Everything else is just,
Hyperbole.
it's just a full description of, if there was an issue, you have this to fall back on.
Cover in your Heidi.
Mhm.
Yes, and it's written very well, it's very clear. I think that Nate gave us a very nice one that has everything. The only area that I feel needs to be edited is the knowledge area.
I'll look at it again, I just thought it was a lot of hype.
Do we
So,
have,
Any job description is.
do we
Yes,
have
it
a
is.
copy
It's all
of the-
hyperbolic.
It is, it's.
So I
Do we
will,
have a copy of the one that we came up with?
yes, it's on my computer. I need to
Okay.
print that
It's
off as well.
probably in the book too, that I created, the pink, there's a
Yes.
binder.
Yes, it
It's-
might be in there as
It may
well.
be in there.
Okay.
I put it all together, I don't remember if it was in
So
there or
if we
not.
took
but-
that and put it into the knowledge part, maybe so
Correct.
something, it might be redundant because,
So, as far as the general job description and payment, it's a per diem position up to 16 hours per month. The position is $45 per hour. If no hours worked, no payment. The position's first $1,000 will be paid to the Hubbardston Board of Health nurse from the funds that the Board of Health was paying to MPHN. That will cover
half the year maybe?
more than half a year, okay? The rest, the remainder of the funds for the next year would be from our revolving Board of Health account. Is that acceptable? I make
That's
a motion.
acceptable.
So,
but-
I make a motion that the remaining
I would like to put a hold on
funds.
voting to to accept that until after I get back.
Okay,
Could we just
so,
change it to it's an hourly position instead of if there's no work done, no payment?
All right.
Kinda, does that make more sense, more, a little more
Yeah.
concise? It's just an hourly,
it's
hourly position.
an
Yeah,
hourly
does that say the same thing but shorter?
position.
I think. So instead of salary, it's hourly.
Okay,
Because generally salary would be, you'd get paid the same amount,
Yes,
correct?
whether you did anything or
Right,
not.
right.
Exactly, so that's why I didn't understand whether it was gonna be, she was getting paid a certain amount every month regardless?
No.
Right.
Or if it was hourly,
it is
so it's hourly.
Painting
Okay.
funds will, for the 23-24 budget year,
Hourly, up to 16 hours a month. Right? Is that how,
Mhm.
how it would
will.
work out? Okay.
Basically, she's working per diem, which is what,
Yeah, as needed.
yeah,
and
'cause that's what per diem is
Per diem,
required
hourly,
16 hours a month.
up to a maximum of 16 hours a month.
Instead of budget year?
At
fiscal
$45
year.
an hour.
Oh,
I think I
24.
figured out the math, it's like 20.
Which will goes
Something
towards
like-
2,340.
Yeah, it was $2,400 a year.
Yeah.
So it would
about
cover
that.
this.
So we're
Whole
talking
year.
$2,400 a year, you don't have this big fight over it.
Oh, I hate that.
I know,
No.
I know.
The 23-24 budget year.
I figured Nate would be
I
here
don't wanna
tonight.
do fiscal, because
No.
it just says 24, and it's not 24, it's now, if we can do
But
it.
we
it
don't
is-
show, but
it's
7th,
still
will we?
the fiscal year.
Oh, I hate
That's
that.
24 is from July
Do we all have to
1st
go to
I know.
through June
Only if
30th.
you wanted to
I
get
know,
this
and I dislike
position
that whole
before
mess.
the board of selectmen. And that's why I'm saying put
That's
it on
personal.
hold,
Ugh.
review it one more time. So I would like to table this until
The second meeting in August,
the second meeting in August.
all right. Would you, for that reason, please contact this person that's
Mhm.
interested?
Okay.
And tell them that we're looking at having her, we're still very interested, but, final approval for the position may not occur until September,
Okay.
okay? I'm willing to
Yeah,
do all
he
that.
wanted to also post it, he wanted to post it, the position posted.
Oh, and it doesn't matter that we had already posted it, what, a couple times, didn't we
Yes,
post
we
it?
did post it a couple times. That,
Yeah, we came up with the job description, we posted, I thought we had done everything, I guess, but they just wanted to look like it's
Alright.
more,
All right.
he wants to
A
go
more
through
formal-
his,
a more
yeah,
formal thing.
like his system.
Can I hang on to this paper copy?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's like, nobody's
I
listening.
will,
Thank you. Make yourself a note.
They do what they wanna do.
Yeah,
Okay. So basically, we're gonna do more research and then plan to take a vote at the second meeting in August.
On
all
and
of
the
then
job
it's gonna have to
description.
be reposted for the third time, as she pointed it out, we've already posted it a couple times.
That is correct. We
So-
will repost it again.
Is there a
Nathan wants to
specific place
repost
they
it.
want it posted, somewhere where we hadn't already done? So,
we'll find out from Nate
Okay.
okay.
what's the proper way to do it.
Tell
And
him
where,
we've al- tell
where
him
had
we've
we,
already done it.
where had we posted it? Was it,
On the
We put it on the
website,
website,
the town website.
and that's all they're gonna do is put it on the website.
Your
Okay.
name's back on.
oh,
Oh,
yeah,
my
see,
name,
it was
gee.
gone, right?
And what,
Yeah.
no,
I'm like,
you know
where
what,
did
I
it
talked to
go?
Candace today and she says sometimes it's there, sometimes it's disappears.
Seriously?
Yeah, so she's got a
Cause I
call.
looked up twice, it was on, wasn't on there either time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Liz was there. Liz was supposed to be leaving, Judy was not.
And we changed you to vice chair.
Oh, yay.
Well, that's okay if I disappear.
All right, let's roll through the rest of this. Possible rabies exposure was a pet.
Was there a bite?
Yeah, there was
There's a bite,
So
here's
did-
the notice
Dog?
that they,
dog to dog.
dog to dog.
I did call and confirm it was dog to dog.
Okay,
I called
So
them.
that was handled by the vets.
So I sent it to animal control.
okay. So it was sent to animal control.
Yeah.
So
So
that has
it's
nothing
good.
to do with us, right?
No, it's just
Okay.
to notify you guys.
Okay.
An email from Chris Monroe regarding lead cables
Oh, yeah, that's
in the town of Hubbardston.
The email's on the next page,
Cables?
on here.
What kind of cables?
That's just the suggested letter.
It's a suggested letter that we send. I can review it.
So the email from Chris to, I think it's you.
I'm sorry, who's Chris?
Chris
He's,
Monroe
uh,
from
On
planning.
the planning board.
Chair.
He became aware of a topic in regards to,
Sprawling network of cables covered in toxic lead that stretches across the U.S. under the water, in the soil, and on poles overhead. As the lead decays, it is ending up in places where Americans live, work, and play. So, why are we worrying about, has it shown up in Hubbardston?
no. He just wanted us to be aware and possibly send an acknowledgement that this is a situation that in general exists, and send it to, I forget who to send it to. That, you know, we're recognizing that may be a
Is it
potential
National Grid?
No, it's AT&T, Verizon, and other telecom giants, so it sounds like,
Spectrum.
Like AT&T,
yeah,
Spectrum.
AT&T, Verizon,
Spectrum.
Sprint,
Yeah.
whoever, but isn't most of that cellular now? I guess there's still landlines.
So these are old cables, is
So the
what they're
land-
concerned about, I guess.
It's the older
is the old-
cables that were,
that are still in the ground, you know, like, I don't know if they, when they,
I don't think we have any underground here in
We,
Hubbardston.
we do, Jordy has underground.
Jordy has underground?
Part of it.
Yeah, but
Part of it, the
Jordy's-
second part, and the whole top of Dogwood North is underground.
But that's
too.
all been built in the 21st.
Yeah, they're
Century.
probably 30 years old, or 30 or more, 30, 35 years. Because my house was one of the last ones to go into that neighborhood, and we're at 25 years old, 24, 25. So those other
but
homes,
the recognition that lead was an issue was well known already at this point, 25 years ago.
yeah, there's no, well,
Yeah,
there's
so
a,
that's my question, even with our, these older these cables that are buried under, I know where I lived in, none of them are buried under, but.
but it even says overhead, and the overhead ones are
Yeah.
degrading.
so
But
it's
they're
something.
constantly out there checking and everything, so.
Well, he's saying, I suggest that we write a joint letter to the companies. So he wants a letter to the companies asking if there's any lead cables, is that what he
I
wants to know?
think that's what they're trying to do. I
So they're
think that's-
trying to determine if there's any in the
If there-
town anywhere?
Right,
And how many companies would you have to write this letter to, I wonder?
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
question.
Reach out to these companies, ask for an accounting of the lead cables that may be in Hubbardston, so that we know if this is an issue that we need to track.
William?
I think if he wants to go ahead and put that letter together, that before he sends it out, that we just take a look.
Review it.
Just review it, and the answer is sure. There's nothing wrong with going ahead with that. Okay? That makes a simple plan?
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah,
that's a
if he
simple
wants to
plan.
come up with a letter.
Yes, and we'll just review it before he mails it, okay?
Okay.
That puts the work
Oh.
on Mark's shoulders.
He said there's an ATT easement running right near his house.
Well, there's all kinds of easements.
A neglected ATT easement.
There's, you know, there's a lot of different ones. So, I think that's fine. I don't think, to ask these guys, these
If
companies.
they wanna pursue it, then
Yes.
let them
We'll
go
let
ahead.
I am not against it being a joint letter asking for any information they can provide us. Okay?
Verizon, AT&T.
Alright. Yeah, so
Okay,
we'll
so they're just looking for those companies to tell us where any of those lead cables
Yeah,
might
so
be
there
in
you
town. Okay.
And then 5 Navajo,
That's
on
the one.
I
hold.
guess you might wanna like test your well if there was an underground lead thing right near
Because,
you.
Because of that, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Area.
maybe.
Oh,
Lead,
yes.
no water? Cause we have wells, so I don't know how wells
under-
would affect.
And I copied
Right.
you on the
Well,
letter that I
yeah.
sent, email I sent to
These
Phil
cables are not that deep.
in his response,
Yes.
so I don't think it's, okay,
So
any
there-
further.
Right. There's an, location 5 Navajo Street, which is part of Pinecrest. Currently,
Yeah.
all the septic and building permits are on hold because there's, dispute as to the size of the lot, location of the lot being a buildable lot under the Pinecrest original documents.
Because of the
And-
nitrogen load.
Because of a potential nitrogen load in that particular area based on the soils and the GIS maps. I happened to stop into the office
It was Monday night.
Monday evening of last week, not this week. No, last week.
What's today? Oh, what's
Today's
Last
Tuesday,
week.
guys.
We're so busy that last Monday I stopped in and they were pulling out a folder that was all about Pinecrest. And, they actually found the map that shows which lots were to be able to be built on and others that were not, based on, an original analysis of possible nitrogen loading because of the smaller lots. And so everything right now is currently on hold and, Bill Homans, is on the planning board, but he's also a member of the board of Pinecrest Board, whatever, association board.
He's the chair, I think.
Yeah, I think he is still the chair.
Like a
And-
homeowners association?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so he would have all the access to the other documents, and we're waiting for some input from Bill as to what direction we should take. Initially, Phil approved plans to be built there, and then, it came out, that through various discussions amongst various people,
And it was
Abutters,
emails,
maybe?
abutters.
Yeah.
that are
They don't want anything
concerned
built there.
that this lot is not recognized as a buildable lot. The map says it is, the original map. So, it's all still up in the air as to what's gonna happen there.
And
So
he
they
was
might-
grandfathered lot as well.
Up to a
But-
point,
Yeah.
but there's
But
still.
they'd still have to do soil testing and all that, right?
It's
They
still
did all that.
Oh, but
recognizable.
you said it was approved, so
Yeah,
they
they-
must have done soil.
They
There
did it
was,
all.
there was a
Perfect.
map, and now,
With
The
the plans came
verification-
here, everything was approved.
right.
Maybe
But.
things have changed in the last how many years?
However, the original subdivision maps, some say there are buildable lots, some say there aren't. And so, it's just being sorted out and just keeping everybody informed. That's all we're doing tonight.
Okay.
Any other unexpected subjects? I don't have any.
Well, a while back, you asked about an intern,
Oh, yes.
and I told you I would contact my person,
Uh-huh.
Professor, Jaime Vallejos, and he has emailed me a couple of times and wanting to know what our decision is about, bringing on an intern to help. So,
Lots of scanning to do.
so,
It's a lot of, there's a lot of office work, but in the fall, there will also be, food inspections to be done and stuff if they want to get that experience. So
okay,
it's office work, and in the fall, so it's a Board of Health office work, but, but in the fall, I can also take.
you can teach them.
I can teach them and they can accompany me on food inspections.
Okay. I know that she wanted the scanning of all of these is coming out exactly as the way I said. That, scanning all these reports in, what we found, or what Nancy's found, is that with a date, it's only a date, or just a number, is attached to each scan.
Oh, it's a big, long number,
Yeah, so it's.
like any scan you do.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't really identify
The
who that what that document is, who the document is attached to, or the address it's attached to, or
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
So,
flaw in the system.
Well, big
Can
big
it be
flaw.
named when you're
Yes, so
scanning?
Well,
what,
that's
so
it.
what we
You name
want,
it.
But
Um,
somebody's gonna have to go in and
so you have
look
to go
at.
in at each, click on each one and find out what the address is and what it actually is, so if it's
And put some organization to it.
yeah, so you would put the address and then pumping record, and then the date, and then close it, and then go to the next one.
So-
Not actually move them, we just want somebody to go in and name
And
everything.
recategorize them, put them.
Well, you don't have to categorize, you just have to name them, cause I'll go in and move them.
So if,
Or put
is
them
that
in-
to be done as you scan it, before you put it through the scanner? Or once it's already been scanned?
No, once
on-
it's been scanned, you can't do it beforehand. Cause you just, the system, any system, when you scan something, no matter where you are,
Ah.
it just scans it and gives it a number. So then you have to double click on it and rename it, that's all. It's
So is
pretty,
anybody checking, like, before documents get shredded or whatever?
Well, these were all
that-
documents that went to that, wherever that was, and then came
Oh,
back
so
to
the
us.
company scanned those
Mhm.
things.
no,
But we
no,
have stuff,
no,
we have new
people,
stuff.
that's either Mallory or somebody that has scanned in a lot of those documents that are in that, section of file. And they just need to be renamed, and then I
There's a
can
lot of
move
them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them,
Mhm.
because I looked at it, because I thought, I'll come in on Thursday and put a couple hours in. But there's a lot of them.
But I mean, we're sure that the stuff is legible and it's accurately
Well,
scanned
that's
in,
another
like,
thing.
who, is anybody double checking that this stuff is actually, like,
That's
before we
another
get,
problem.
that's what I meant, before we get rid of the hard copies or shred or whatever they
Well,
end
I
up going.
don't even know what's already scanned, I don't know where those originals are.
For what kinds of things?
I don't know, whatever's in the file. I have
There's a
no idea.
file. Okay.
Yeah,
On the
So-
computer,
so
they're just
that would
computer
be-
files.
it's in land use, yep. And it's just a bunch of random files
Okay.
that need to be renamed.
And we're
we've got
sure it's not
pumping
in the
records.
folder, it's not in the
No,
addresses folder?
anything that is in the folder is named. It has the street, it's under the street address.
So there's no way that they're duplicates, I guess is what I'm saying.
Could be,
That the Mallory scanned it onto the computer, but
Could
it's
be.
also, the company scanned it, and it's
Could be.
already there.
could be. But you're not gonna take the time, it's easier to just rename it and bring it over.
Put it in again.
Than to
Okay.
try to
It's
find
easier
out,
to
go
have a
through, cause some of
duplicate in
these, some of
there.
the street files have 100 documents and they're all one, you have to go through all those 100 to find, it would be too much work.
To
Wouldn't
see
be
if-
worth the time
To see if it's a duplicate.
to see if it's a duplicate, it's easy
Okay.
to just rename it and put it in there.
It belongs on blank street,
Right.
whatever number it is.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
anything going forward, if we name it, So say to Main Street, you'll pull up to Main Street. And then anything you add will go under to Main Street, but it will be labeled separately. So only the original will all be in one file. Anything you add in will all be named. So if you're looking
Such
at something.
as,
Such as whatever, if they have a
Public
building,
record.
or a building permit,
or a building
or
permit.
whatever, it will all be in there, named.
Well, there you go. We need someone with good technical skills, office skills. But if they wanna get out of the office, they can.
But there's a ton of stuff that hasn't even been scanned yet,
Oh, yes,
so there's lots of,
it's,
Yes.
it's
And
a
so-
lot,
So
it's
yes.
overwhelming.
Yeah, so we definitely want,
And then we'll have this person tag along with us to also expose them to Board of Health, everyday affairs.
correct.
do we actually ask for like people in the town that, for volunteers, if anybody wants to come in and help?
That ain't gonna happen.
We have a,
Well, I mean,
one,
you
we
don't
have
know till
one
you
person
ask.
who's slowly putting the Laserfish scanned records
yes,
back
she's
into
been
the file
great.
cabinet. She's working at it.
She's already
bit by
got
bit.
2 rows done.
Yeah, so we do have that going on, so yes, the intern, we
That
should
would
move
be-
forward with it.
Okay, all right, how many hours a week?
So why put them back in
How many hours?
How many hours a week?
Do I work?
Yeah,
No,
Oh, how many?
yes,
for the intern.
right,
Oh, yeah, I work 20.
20.
Well, this is gonna be a student now,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to figure they've got 20 hours of classes.
Right, I'm just saying I work 20 hours a week.
Up to 20 hours a week.
But the thing is that.
You're gonna pay for this? How are we gonna pay for this?
Why not? They're an intern.
And I leave,
They can get college credit if the professors wanna give them college credit.
Cause I just paid for the intern that did my
I know,
community
I
assessment.
know. This is for,
Cause we hired her as under consultant.
see if he will.
right, that's different.
That's different. This would be an intern that would
College
get
credit.
college credit.
All right,
You have to work out
You
getting
don't usually
college credit.
get paid for.
When we've had
No.
interns before from the university there, State College, we did not pay.
okay. Lots of times it comes back as they can do one day and they'll give 4 hours a week or, would that be helpful in any way?
Anything would be helpful.
Anything
Yes,
would-
one day a week, 4 hours a day.
right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, definitely.
Okay.
It's all helpful.
All right, I'll go back to him and I'll email him what you said. The last one I have on my list is the heat will be coming. You don't think it's gonna stay in Texas forever, do you?
Yeah, there's a heat
It'll-
advisory for
it'll move.
Thursday.
Yeah.
This
It's
Thursday
gonna
is what
move
I was told.
east eventually,
Mhm.
and it will come up, you know, they were talking about how it's a combination of different weather
Patterns and.
patterns
Yep.
that are just blended together and cause this issue. But, you know, I just, you know, whatever starts in Texas eventually ends up
Right.
coming up the coast. So I
You
figure
worry about
eventually we're gonna, August is coming and we may end up with some good hot days. So did we want to
Too
set up,
bad we don't have a town shelter.
do we wanna set up a cooling center?
How?
We can open the school for a cooling center, need be.
There's,
Provide, it's just a place.
Guess,
You know, they got bathrooms, got lights, we can
do
use
they have
it.
AC? They don't, right?
The school?
It's pretty
doesn't?
cool there.
I don't think they have air. Raya's window's always open when I go there to help out.
But the
It's like
other
a hot
thing too
box.
is, Dennis
Really?
always
Yeah,
made
they don't
sure
have
that
AC.
there were some fans available to be given away. So, I only know of one year where we actually got requests from, it was, an elder person and she had no fans in her house. And her family came in and found the house so hot. So we provided like 3 fans, so she had fans throughout her home.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, that's another thing we could do. Just make sure that, you know, contact the Board of Health or contact emergency management, you know, such and such, leave a message on the phone. And we'll call you back and make arrangements for some fans. We can do that,
And
or
how,
we can
who's
try
gonna
and
get the
check in.
fans? How
Yeah.
do you get the fans? Who's gonna buy the fans?
The EMD has come,
Oh,
and we already have some in the trailer.
oh, okay.
So, yeah, if fans are needed during,
Yeah.
I guess we could.
We just need to monitor, I just wanted to bring it up that we need to monitor real closely this heat, especially if it starts to move.
Right, and
And
doesn't dissipate.
it's going to move east, so we just
Yeah,
need
that's what
to,
they're saying.
yeah, we just need to be kind of like 2 steps ahead of the
Mhm,
game, so
mhm.
that we have some plans in place, you know. We can open up the school with refreshments, maybe a tabletop game or something, like a game or 2 out there, you know, so people aren't bored,
So we
totally
need to get
bored.
permission from the school.
That should be easy,
They have a new principal now, correct?
yeah, but
Jill left.
going and contacting the superintendent's office, they'll just grant it to us.
Okay,
That should be easy.
so. Heat preparedness.
Yeah. This is gonna be 88 on Friday, and that's the highest I see all week.
Yeah,
Oh, so
but I'm
that's not
thinking,
that bad.
It's 88 on Friday.
no,
I
I'm
mean, it's not-
thinking 2 weeks from now, cause
Right.
I'm
When
not
everything-
thinking now,
right,
I'm
when
thinking
things move.
as it moves.
Mhm.
We just need to watch the weather, and if we need to put something in place, then we need to be ready to jump.
It never stops raining.
Well, that would be helpful.
Wouldn't it?
Although my flower gardens
tired of
are
it.
just absolutely loving it. My gardens are beautiful this year.
EMD, right, emergency management.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go out, get a bunch of popsicles and ice cream and
Yeah.
put it in the cafeteria.
Put it in the freezer.
Yeah, there's very few schools that are air conditioned. I think there's only like one in Gardner, that's the new one they just built.
But they're all made
They're
of cement, so
Yeah, so they
right
don't
there,
air
it's
conditioned.
on the cool side.
Oh, they're very hot on the second and third floor of those
Mm.
buildings. Let me tell you, those kids come down sweating to the nurse's office going, I'm so hot, I didn't bring any water today, and they're just dying. And it's like, yeah, but they're not air conditioned. That's why there's no
I
summer
can remember,
school in the summer.
you know, being in school and
It's
having
hot,
that
especially when you get up to those upper floors.
And how
It
can you
gets-
even concentrate when it's so hot,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
Open the windows.
The only year I had
It's
to
hot.
deal with that was in 6th grade. Then we were all on this 3rd floor.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
higher up you get.
Yep.
And the teachers have to bring in their own fans, because this school's not giving out fans.
So, but anyway, we just need to kind of just be aware, watch the weather, and if we need to set something up, then I just wanted to put that out on the table.
Set up some sprinklers. Have them run through.
Yeah, you can do that.
Actually, the kids would like that,
Don't
right?
they have those portable misting stations? You know what I'm saying? If you're
Yeah.
one of those places like at an amusement park where you walk through the
Walk
mist.
through it, and it's a
And it's
mist.
supposed to hydrate
Mhm,
and cool you
mhm.
down.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
just the
Oh.
mist.
Yes, yep. Doesn't
Oh,
really
yeah.
soak you, it just kind of
3,
cools.
if senior center open.
Senior
The
center air
senior
conditioned?
center is a little fussy
Open.
about, but we could, as a Board of Health, just say,
source for
we're-
seniors.
we're gonna do it.
For yeah.
So they
Yeah.
have AC, right?
They have,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they have AC, and
So-
they usually do open it to seniors, but it's not open to the general public.
Mm-hmm.
But if we had some really vulnerable elderly, we could use
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Nancy would make sure
If
that-
they were in like a bad
So
way.
that's-
Not you,
the
I mean the other
thing.
Nancy,
So,
Nancy Alfonso.
yeah.
so we have possibly the school.
Yep.
And then there's fans available from the EMD. And then if seniors are the ones that are having issues, they can come to the
Come to
senior
the senior
center.
center, yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 steps for that.
Okay.
That's our plan.
We're good.
Some popsicles.
All right.
And put the put the popsicles in the freezer.
Popsicles. Get some extra
Um,
ice.
Under the
Mister.
complaints, on 50 Dogwood Road North, I visited the property, took photographs. The odors are coming from a horse pen area. The horse is got a dry barn to live in, but the pen area is awful. I took photographs
Is
of
it too small? There's a requirement, right?
It's wet.
Oh, it's wet. I didn't even know they had a horse back there.
Yes, they do, and that's where the odors are coming from. 18 Cross Road, I still didn't write that report, did I? Oh, for goodness sakes. The yard looked fine, and I just need to write the report. I guess I still didn't do it. Thank you for reminding me, Nancy.
Did we skip 124 Barry Road?
Which one is that property?
D, 12D.
I know,
For the
but-
dogs.
Oh,
Was that the kennels?
Yes.
yeah, okay.
So isn't that animal control, or is that still
Yes.
us?
It's animal control, and they haven't said anything to us. And I haven't had time to reach out to
Because
them.
we need to get back to the woman, or would animal control get back to the woman?
Animal control would.
Okay, so have we handed that off then?
She came in and kind of gave us an update, and I asked her to do something in writing to give me, so I'd have it. I haven't gotten it yet,
Animal
that's all.
control?
Animal control.
All right,
Yes,
so
we don't
they
have
can
it
give an
on-
update to us, but our responsibility for it has been
Handled.
handed
Yes,
over, so we can
because-
close it on our end. We'll get an update, but,
It's,
Right.
we're keeping it open till we get the written update.
okay.
That's why it's open.
All right.
18 Cross Road is still open because I forgot I didn't write the report. We have a recent anonymous letter from last week from 7 Ragged Hill Road. I'm familiar.
Okay. Seven, and then,
Oh,
regarding
is that on
seven,
the left, right as you?
Yes.
That's the letter.
it's been that way for decades.
Yes, so,
He sits there on the end of in a
Yes.
chair.
That was the one that Sandy Knipe and I visited one day and talked to him about his yard, and then we went inside the house and it was immaculate. And he's an artist, and,
So, is he married?
Nope,
No?
but his home was like,
Maybe he's a hoarder, but he just keeps it all outside.
yeah. It's
Well,
kinda
right?
like,
That's better than keeping it inside.
that's kinda like what Sandy and I got. It was decades ago.
But I mean, it's not like it's unsightly or
It
anything.
is, but it's unsafe.
Oh, is it?
Yes, partly because a lot of the stuff there collects water, and now you have mosquito. Some of it, there's buried in in that yard somewhere is a unfenced swimming pool,
Buried in
really?
it, so they just buried it.
which it's just probably overgrown at this point.
Oh.
But
In an in-ground?
yes, and I was concerned about that way back when, and that was part of the reason why Sandy and I made a trip way back when. And, so, but then I went off the board for a while, and I lost track of it.
So does the town have some type of bylaw saying that you can't have stuff like that on your
Well,
property?
you know, your own mortgage or whatever, you know,
He doesn't.
demands that you keep your,
He may not have a mortgage. He's been there a long time.
yeah. But
Today's the 24th.
you're supposed to keep your property in proper order. It
Last-
doesn't necessarily have to be the way your neighbor thinks it should be, but it should be kept in proper
14th.
order.
Last Tuesday.
Whatever that
What's
means.
I was, when I go by, it looks to me like it's really close to the road, and I'm thinking,
Hold
what
on.
happens in the winter when they go to plow? It must
17th,
like
okay, I went by
cover a lot
never
of
mind,
that stuff.
the 19th.
Yeah.
I went by,
All the napkins.
I dropped, never mind, I got it.
Okay.
So, do we wanna revisit all of this?
Like go and inspect it again?
I have already driven by on the 19th. It's completely packed yard. The potential for mosquito issues and rodents and stuff
Mhm.
is there.
And we don't know about the pool, if that's been filled in or whatever, we don't
Something
know.
with trees and with vines and, but still, it's a trap if you, all you need is one kid to decide to.
So, I think we should, step one is to write a letter to the owner. Requesting he clean up the yard because of mosquito
Rodent potential.
and rodent potential issues.
Is most of the stuff that's there, like, what is it?
It's all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
pots and pans, kids' toys.
Is the washer dryer still there outside? It was to the right of,
Yes, I
Yeah.
think it is rusted away.
has been there for decades.
Second, I've actually spoken with the police sergeant and asked the police department to, because they drive around the whole town, to put together a list, this is a general thing, of properties that are like this, so that we can keep our eyes and ears open for state funds to assist in
Yeah,
cleanup.
that would be great.
So,
Yeah.
overall, they're to be putting together a list.
Good.
Police contacted
248 looks absolute,
to,
actually looks half decent, by the way.
to, put
There's still an
together
RV there that looks pretty nasty and run
Yeah.
down, and $100 if someone's living in
list
it.
of similar properties.
I had actually heard that there was living in
Oh.
those.
I'm filling this
Kids,
out right
I
now.
haven't
children,
s-
someone with children. living
Similar
in it.
properties
I haven't seen it, but it
in
looked much
order
better.
It does,
to
it does, a lot of it's been carried away.
attempt
Yeah,
There's
it's much
probably
better.
still
to
too many people
obtain
living there for the occupancy of the home.
state
Home, yeah.
cleanup funds.
I wonder who cleaned it up. We don't know if it was the owner or if the renters.
All right, how's that?
We
Good
don't know.
question.
Okay,
So
yeah.
if you can just,
Duffy was working
you're,
with them, so.
I'm sorry, just write up a separate
Yep.
letter. Okay, all right,
Right.
So, I'm sorry, so the Dogwood again, so that's gonna, a letter will go to them to
oh, yes.
clean up? Is that what happens on Dogwood?
Actually, we need to contact animal control.
Animal control? Cause I
So
noticed.
can you, on that one, contact animal control that the living conditions for the horse are inadequate?
I thought the pen had to be X amount of square feet or something per horse, something. If it's not a
And
big
the-
enough area.
The horse just gets absolutely no sunlight, it's all under trees.
Oh, his hooves and feet, I hope
He
they-
has a dry
That's right.
barn to stand in. It is dry. I can see it from the neighbor's property. I took pictures of it. But the paddock, if you will, or the barnyard was entirely muck.
Oh, that's not good. No.
Very
Oh,
bad conditions.
Yeah. So, yep.
The horse stayed in the barn. It did not come out when we were there, when I was visiting.
There has been a lot of rain, I wonder if
So if you
that's
can reach out to animal control.
new to
But-
this year since we've
But
had all
the
this
horse is
rain.
not getting exercised either, so. So it's, yeah, animal control. See what they can come up with. at turnovers. We're up to finally up to turnovers. It's 9.
So this is,
It's
past my
I did this
bedtime.
on a
I know
warrant,
it, me
but
too.
I just reached
Fee.
out to Kelly today because this was actually invoiced June 29th, which had been last fiscal year.
And what did they do, decide?
So I don't know, I just reached out to her today because I did this up and just realized that this was actually, because the fiscal year ended
Yeah.
June 30th, this was invoiced on the 29th. That, this
But
bill
when did
from
you
Mark
receive
Popple.
it? When did you receive it?
I didn't receive it until, the 10th.
Then that's fine.
But but if it was invoiced, that's why I have to find
Okay,
out
sign
how
off
it's
on
gotta
it.
be paid.
So it's the,
That's the one that you voted to pay last,
for the landfill.
but yeah.
Just which fiscal year it gets paid in.
Don't you have like a grace period into July for,
You do, but I think it's already over, but, so I don't know how I've gotta find out how it's gotta be paid.
well, then it goes on to the next, goes on to September. Is it, if it didn't get paid, if it's not eligible to be paid, then it
Well, no,
has-
the problem is whether or not it gets paid for fiscal year 23, which we just finished up.
or it gets
fis-
added on for September's town meeting or October's or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so we have, notice of a return deposit for the town fair of $20 from No Coast Kitchen. And, Nancy sent that letter July 20th. Would you also send a copy of this to Katie, since she's the chairman of the That's, send a copy of this letter to
will
Katie
be-
Young, Chair of the Town Fair, letting her know, maybe she can reach out also to help, the owner send us appropriate funds.
So return check means like bounced?
Correct.
Okay.
All right,
One of them, cause there's two of them. One was a closed account, so like the treasurer was saying, maybe they used the wrong, one.
Wrong
it was a-
checkbook or
The
something?
wrong checkbook or something, and
Sure.
for either one of them, so, we're just looking for the funds that we're not charging them extra, cause the bank at this point isn't charging us anything extra, so we're just looking for the money that
Okay.
they had
All right.
originally written
Yep,
them
I gotcha.
checks for.
It's too bad the town doesn't accept a Venmo. Wouldn't that be easy? Just bing, 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 just send it in.
really?
Said
This also
Unipay.
returned?
I don't know,
That was
yeah,
just
Unipay for your, you can do your
I
real
did
estate
a tax
taxes
check
on
top
something,
of
go
it.
Unipay.
Oh, on the
I
online,
never
the
done that.
online payment,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
I don't do that, I send it.
Okay, we also
And I
had a,
emailed her
Dennis did that,
previous,
I looked at it and said, I don't know how to do this.
when I first got this, I
Yeah.
emailed her
You
on
can
the
do the
17th,
check.
on the 12th. But then, when I was doing this letter, I figured I'd do a formal letter
yes.
for her as well.
So we also had a temporary food permit at Riata Ranch for the Howe,
House Country Store.
for Howe's Country Store, the check, $30 came back.
And we've sent correspondence to both of them saying, hey.
Yes.
We didn't,
Okay.
okay.
That's what that is.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I'll be darned, we made it through the agenda.
Yes, yay.
And I
Make a
didn't-
motion to.
Adjourn.
Yes, motion
I
adjourn
will
at
second.
8:57 PM. We're all in favor.
Yes.
I know, we are all in favor.